Welcome back to Hasbro's Hyde. We're going to take a look next in our series on the 6.5 Grendel at a new powder to me, and that's Alliant Power Pro 2000 MR. Had good luck with several other Power Pro series, but I've not tried this one yet. So one of our local stores got this in. Not cheap, especially not now, but I thought, well, let's give it a whirl because it's supposed to be the velocity king for 120 grain weight, 123 grain weight range bullets. And so we're going to see that. That's one thing, to see how fast we can go safely. But the other thing is, let's see how accurate we can get with this powder. And so we're going to go and we're going to shoot from 30 grains on the low end, going up 0.3 to 31.2 on the high end. And that'll get us just below the Sierra's published data in that range, which is pretty much the reference. Now there are several other websites where people are going well beyond that. But I'm not going to do that initially, because again, getting the maximum possible velocity, that's fine for certain uses, but I'm not after that. I'm after the most accurate round at reasonable to high velocities. So that's what we're going to do. And so we'll load these up and make this a fairly short video. We'll load these up off screen because you've all seen by now in this series how I load, how I do the sequence with the different scales and then do the seating and things. So we'll just go straight to the range and then we'll see you back here. All right, taking a look at our 2000 MR powder target. The very first one, now if you saw the last video, this is after I finally figured out what was going on with the mount. And so the mount had a loose condition that was not so easy to figure out. But I was able to figure it out, tighten it up, and so we started then shooting these groups right after that. Same day, but right after that. And so you can see really good results. And so that's the 30 grain load, and we moved on up, and not bad. We had 4 here and 1 here, and might have been me at this point. Opened up though here from 30 to 30.6, from 30.3 to 30.6, then it opened up, and then we started to close back up and close back up again. The standard deviations tended to follow this too. This first one, we were at about 9.2 standard deviation, and then we were exactly the same standard deviation here. So there's probably a reasonable node in here, I suspect. We'll have to shoot these areas again. But then here, we start getting just a little bit better, even though the group didn't open up. So it tells you a little bit about harmonics, that while this is 7.4 standard deviation, by the way. While that got better, and velocity went up, it wasn't necessarily good with where we were on our harmonics. Now, you remember the Harrell's tuner brake is on here, and it's set at 75 and not been changed. So even with a lower standard deviation, I could probably adjust that tuner brake and play with that group some. But we'll probably be back here before we do that. So here then, 7.6 standard deviation, so about the same as here. Slightly better group. And then we get down here, and the case is getting pretty full. And we're down to 5.9 standard deviation, so this isn't bad. Now, as far as MOAs go, well, this one obviously wins. This is a 0.38 MOA, so this is the best we've had in the series with the Wilson Combat Barrel. We should have had a lot more, I think, now, once I figured out what was going on with the stupid scope mount. But nonetheless, that's a really good group. It probably could have been better with a better shooter or being a better day, but not bad at all, not bad at all. And this one then, 1.35 MOA because of that one. If that had been piled in there, it's that good or better. So that was, it's worth testing again. Now this one definitely opened up. So this is 1.49 here, like I said, but the standard deviation was dropping. So, you know, maybe it's okay there. Then this one tightens up a little bit. This is 1.043, so 1 MOA basically here. And then we drop down to here, and we're at 0.688 MOA again. And so you can see it's tightening back up again. We're going through a harmonic shift in this area here and coming back in. So going a little higher, I think pressure says we can do it. It's pretty fast, pretty high velocity, because this is at 2456. I'll have all the stats just right after this if you want to look at them in more detail. But so that's pretty fast for a 120 grain bullet. But nonetheless, we have some really excellent results finally. So fixing the stupid mount, I should have, this was not hard to see, but I should have seen it, I guess, sooner. But anyway, nonetheless, our best group to date so far with this rifle, 0.38 MOA. So what's the verdict? Thumbs up for Power Pro 2000 MR and the 120 grain ELDs. This could very well be the magic bullet for this barrel. I mean, the 95 grain VMAXs are shooting really good, and so it's hard to say, but here's certainly one really good bullet in powder combination at 0.38, because I'm confident I could do better than that with time. And so we're in the future, we'll reload this again. We'll do several, and we'll just do target after target shooting that. And I think also we'll load up several of these, and we'll adjust the Harrell's tuner brake now just within the range here, because remember, again, it's set at 75 and was not moved for this, so we found a good place for it with this powder and bullet combination, and then we'll work on adjusting that. So anyway, good news, really happy, everything's shooting really well.